Bonjour, good morning, Yannick.
Good morning, Jerry.
Thank you so much for welcoming us at FITECO in Paris with a big sun and a temperature of 35 degrees. So this is great. The first thing I would like to ask you, because it made me very curious, 2 years ago, you received from President Macron the highest recognition in France, which is the Légion d'honneur. And I think it's a good way to speak about your career and fully understand what made you so special until now in your career and why it has been recognized so much.
It's a good question. It's a real honor, of course. This distinction for me is very important. Why she's very important? Because, you know, I was the chairman of the French statutory auditor. And this institution managed all the auditor in France, and she was very involved in durability, sustainability issues. And in fact, during these 4 years when I was a chairman, I worked a lot on a law, a special law, which is the CSRD. You know, this is this directive that want that company make a reporting of all their sustainability issue. And for me, it was a very important subject because I would say that, you know, you tell me just a few minutes ago that the weather, the temperature is 35 degrees. We all know that all the economic model of our company in the next 10, 20 years will be impacted by the environment subject, by social subject, or so on. And they have to understand that they have to change their model considering those subjects. Or when you say that, okay, everybody is agree with that. But now we have to act. Company have to act. And if we want them to act, we need to know exactly what they do for these issues. And I was very involved in the fact that real reporting should be done by those companies. Okay, and I work on this law for this directive with the French government, and we work a lot to make that also not only we have a directive, but also we have all the auditor involved in this subject, and which could make an audit and sustainability of subject. You know, 6 or 7 years ago, I've been to the European Parliament, sorry, and I speak with them, and they say, "You are an auditor, but the auditor is a number, is not sustainability subject." And I have to convince that it's also a subject that an auditor could do. He could audit also non-financial issue, and I was very happy that this directive it was finished, even if now, you know, that with the Omnibus Directive, the CSRD down in obligation, but we really work on this. I'm sure that the next few years we come back to necessity to report on sustainability issue. And this is the reason why, because we really do a very good job on this. The President Macron considers that I could be distinct.
So, Yannick, what are the big highlights of your professional career so far?
But first, I begin like a lot of people in an international audit organization, and after I met FITECO. FITECO was a very, very nice organization. I love this company. When I met the chairman, I am actually the chairman of FITECO, but 25 years ago, I began as a manager in audit in this company with a real project to make that we developed audit everywhere in France. And after a few years, I take in charge not only audit, but also all the advice business and so on and so on. I've been the CEO and now the chairman of FITECO. I love this company because there is value, big value, free value, very important, human. We respect everybody, our colleagues, of course, our employees, our clients, and we develop this value in our way we do our job. We have the second value, which is proximity. We want office everywhere in France, near to our client. We want to be near them because we want them that they know that if they need whatever they need, we are just there, just on the side of the company to give us advice in account, social, fiscal, and all other issues. And the third one, which is very important, expertise, knowledge. We are not a business as other. We are a business with a big regulation, with ethics. And so we have to be very experts in all the domains. So we have to make a lot of training, a lot of job to make that all our employees have a good level of expertise.
And that's the reputation you have today, clearly. So yeah, I can tell you. How would you describe the market and the business today in this fast-moving environment?
The business today is both exciting because a lot of opportunity arrives with, of course, IA, artificial intelligence, of course, but not also. In France, in the next 3 months, we'll have the electronic invoice will begin in the 1st September. And with all this data, with the IA, we will have a big opportunity to make very good advice to our clients. We could be really a partner with them, with information at any moment for them, that make that our clients, our entrepreneur, could take the good decision because we give them the good advice at the good moments. So there is very good opportunities and very exciting things in the business now. But there is also things we could make us worried about the future. Because even if we have opportunities, we should change our model. We are not anymore accountants. It's finished. We are really partner. So that means that we spend more time not to do accounts, to do financial statements. It's finished. All that is finished. We have to do that, but this is the client considers that this is the minimum, this is the basic. He's not ready to pay for that. He asks for value. He asks for advice and good advice. So we need to change the model and make that our employees change their life, job, because now they will spend more time with the clients. They will spend more time for advice and very high-level advice. Not just to say, okay, this year, one time by year, that the margin is bad or good, the turnover is bad or good. No, now they need to know at any moment what is the situation and what decisions they should take to make that their organization will be good. So we have to do training, we have to change our profile of recruiting. We should recruit people with a higher level, and we have also to take care about our employees who do the job which now at 70% or 80% automatic. And so we should develop other services, which, in fact, to resume, we could say that before we were an accounting company, and now we are a company of services and several services.
Okay. If I make the link with PrimeGlobal, do you remember why FITECO joined PrimeGlobal many years ago?
Yes, I remember very well. For me, PrimeGlobal is first, as I said a few minutes ago, we love organization with value, and we are considering that PrimeGlobal based on strong value, and especially human value, because when we meet all other office in a different event we organize, we first have very nice moments together. We speak together, we learn from each other, and the first thing why PrimeGlobal for us is very important, because there is a real community of all those people who are all over the world and who speak about their business, speak about their opportunities or their problems, and it's very it's very important for us to have this information and to share with them all those issues. The second point was we have to make that our client should be help if they want to go outside the country. Okay, if my clients say I need to make subsidiaries in Italy, in the United States, or everywhere in the world, I can say I don't know, or you should find someone else. So now, because we know all the offices and the company in PrimeGlobal, I know that if my clients need something in an international issue, I could find a solution for him. And it's very important for that. The third thing, perhaps, which is the most important, is also to make that we could have also business who come from the other country. And if the client of our friends in PrimeGlobal, they want to come in France and need advice, we know that in France the regulation is very complex. So they really need having information about it. But we could add them, and it could be a pleasure for us to be there for them.
Okay, good. Yannick, FITECO is well known for acquiring many firms every year in France. What are your criteria? How do you manage that process?
We're known for that, but in fact, we don't acquire really company. Just our strategy is not just to buy and buy and buy and be the biggest company in France. It's a real question of partnership. We have a lot of course, for us, it's important to have growth, also growth who pass by the fact that we have other company, other office who come in the group. But the real subject is that if I met an office who want to share who want to sell their company, the question is, did they have the same values as us? Did they want to do the job in a long-term value and long-term approach as we love to do? The question is, this person or those person who are associated with this office, are they the future partner of FITECO? And so we have to know if they share really our value. And only this is the condition to make that after we acquire the structure. So the question is first a question of value, question of philosophy, of the ways they see the business in the future, the ways they want to do this business, and if these conditions are united, after we can speak about business and buy as a share. And in fact, the success of our strategy now it's about 20 years we acquire a company, and never we have an échec. And the reason is each time we take time to speak with them, to share our view, and to be sure that we want to work together. We want to support the same strategy. And after this moment, we can do everything. And so it's not we don't buy a company, we acquire a company. We have a new partnership with those, and that's why we both like that.
Okay, that's clear. I understand that the process before the merger, before the acquisition, is therefore very important in terms of values. After that, a new entity is taking part of FITECO. How do you integrate them? Of course, you spoke about the values, but that doesn't mean that you will be successful. And you just mentioned that you never had any failure. So what are the tips and tricks to succeed in the integration of a new entity?
It's a very good question. After, in fact, we have a process, which is always the same. By the way, before we acquired the company, or the entities, we explain exactly what will happen after. They know exactly that they will have the name of FITECO, they will lose their name. They know they will have to take our tools, and they can't keep their old tools or old process. So they know exactly before the operation that they will have to follow a process in communication, tools, business process, which is the process FITECO. Each office is everywhere in FITECO use the same process, use the same tools. So they know that. And I think it's a real integration. It's not just full of subsidiaries. Each time we buy a company, we merge her. And it come in the group FITECO, in the company, the only company FITECO SAS. So we have the communication process. They know exactly when we have communication with the clients, how we communicate to the clients on the way they change the names, the ways that we have a new process with our office. We have also tools, and generally it takes about 18 months to be integrated. 6 months of we know about who FITECO, how all this organization goes, and after 6 months, they know they have a lot of training, and they will have new tools for production or for communication.
Since FITECO is growing fast, I think we can say that. From another hand, how do you maintain the engagement of the whole staff? People who have been at FITECO for a very long time, but also new people joining. How do you maintain this kind of engagement from everybody when the organization is changing quite a lot every year?
It's also a very good question. It's perhaps the most important question. I think there is a rule, one rule. When you say that you have values, and you say those values are very important, and you always communicate on this information, those values should exist in real, even for the all employees, and then for new employees. And so we are working together, all the partners, to make that when in the way we manage our office, we respect this value. And this value exists in the real life every day. The way we respect employees, the way we respect clients, the way that we are involved with our clients in expertise and so on. Last year in March, we developed our new strategy for 2030, and it was important to share the strategy with everybody, all our employees. So I take time to speak with them at several times to explain where we go together, what is the goal of our strategy, and why the strategy respect everybody, and why everybody know why it's working every day. And we have we develop a special communication with our employees. We have them that say, if we have to speak about your job, to speak about your area, about your office, can you do just a picture and give us just a little sentence about what you think about FITECO? And we communicate on that, and it's a marque employeur. I don't know how to say that in English.
I don't know how to say that. It's really your brand.
Yeah, our brand, and so and we have a prize for that. We win a prize, which is behind me, because finally, all our companies communicate on this outside, on the social network, and finally, they were proud of FITECO. They are proud of their job. They are proud of our area, our region, and that's the link. We exist together. That's why when we arrive in this company, we love her very fast, and we want to stay. Of course, there is always employees who leave, who quit the company. We are not a special one, but we have 3 years ago, we have also worked on a raison d'être.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know exactly to say that in English. It's a sentence. We resume exactly why we do the job and why we want to have an impact on the society. This sentence, we resume who we are and our value, is very known by our employees, and they love that because it's also a link between us.
So they all know the purpose of FITECO.
Yeah.
That's I guess what we say.
We say in France, donner du sens.
Purpose.
Give a very purpose together.
Sense.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see how you speak about the existing staff and the way you get them engaged and motivated through a transparent communication. Now, we all know that the last few years it has been challenging sometimes to attract and recruit additional staff. So how do you do that when you don't have the opportunity to speak with people about engagement because they are not yet in the company? So how do you attract new people? How do you make it successful at that level?
Alors, first, we make a campaign. I explained about that. The one we have the price. It's a campaign outside, so it makes that a lot of people who don't know really FITECO. To be honest, FITECO is not known as a KPMG, EY, or Price. We are a small company and not an international one. So, and this campaign make that a lot of people discover FITECO and make that they want to know more about this company. The second action we do is that we have now a department who recruit people for us. It's not office outside officer who do the job for us. We have 5 people who make the recruitment. Why it is important that it was our employees who do this job? Because when they have someone on phone, they speak about FITECO, not because we just explain them what is FITECO, because they are employees in FITECO. So they know very well FITECO. So it's important for them because the future employees say, oh, okay, I think that they very love this company. They seem that there is a really value in this company. And that's why, like all the office, it was very difficult to recruit in the last 3 years. But the reason why it's not so difficult is because we work a lot about our values and we speak about us with a natural way. We just make that we invite in a story of what is FITECO. We just say what FITECO is in real life. And I think the fact to be real, to be sincere, is very important to be attractive.
Okay, great. How do you see the evolution of the next generation, the younger people? You're a young CEO, don't take me wrong, but you probably face a younger generation as well. How would you describe the change in their expectations?
Well, the change, first we say, is they want a goal, they want a purpose. It's very important for us. They want to know why they work every day. They consider that their company is not only working on the turnover, the business, the margin, but is also a company who love to make that their clients have success and things like that. The second thing is that they want to be considered. It's very important. This young generation needs to be considered. Before we arrive and say, you have to learn your job. So now do this job. And after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you will learn. After I will explain more things to you. And you could imagine that you will be a manager or could be a director. Now it's finished. They want to have projects. They want to be recognized on the job. So we change the way we manage our job. So we have a big training of all our managers at all the levels to make that when an employees arrive, whatever is the employees, and especially the new generation, we have to be exigent, demanding. It's normal, but we know to say thank you, well done. Every year we make a job form of all the employees considering their engagement in the company, which is very important for us. And we know exactly what they are waiting for, especially the young people. And they just want that more often than before, we say thank you, you do a good job, and so on. They need confidence, they need that we consider the job, they need that we have an ambition for them.
And recognition?
Yeah, recognition, of course.
Okay.
And that's all for this new generation. I don't have some people say, oh, this new generation, they don't want to work. They just want to finish at 5 or 4 and come back at home and do everything. Of course, they want balance in their life and the personal and business lives. It's normal. I think it's, but they are well engaged. When they are in the business, they are well engaged.
Okay, great. Looking ahead, coming back to PrimeGlobal, how do you see PrimeGlobal fitting with your needs? How does PrimeGlobal help you in your firm?
It helps us because sometimes, of course, we have a lot of link with other content company in France. But you know, when I listen to what Australians say, Americans say, Asiatic office says, we discover that sometimes they are not at the same time in the market. For example, 1 year ago, we have a meeting in Bangkok, and we all of them in our country, we have to say what was our priority. And it was very interesting to see that in all over the world, instead of Europe, we don't have the same priority, because perhaps they develop digitalization before us, because they experiment things before us. So the fact to speak with them and to discover what happened in those countries give us a lot of information to know how to react and how to anticipate a lot of things. So it's very, very interesting for us to have this discussion and to share our point of view all over the world to understand our business in our country. That's very, very important for us. This is the things which is the most important for me.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, if you could give an advice to high potentials, so probably younger people in your organization, what would that be for the future?
Perhaps the best advice is to be confident and go on. Don't hesitate to take risk. I think this new generation or high potential people could be the best expert, could be the best in their area. But sometimes the way that our potential is not at the maximum is because they hesitate, because they don't take enough risk. We are all entrepreneurs somewhere. And I think this old potential, that's what I say to them in FITECO. Don't hesitate to experiment, to take risks. We need that. Our clients need that. And don't be, you know, in our profession, there is a lot of norm, too more standard, too more regulation. And sometimes we could be limited by those regulations and that standard. And in fact, now our clients just need that business are going well. And for that, they need us to give advice. And for that, well, of course, we have numbers, we have everything to analyze the situation of our client. But when we have everything, we should take the risk to say, you should take this decision. This is the good decision. And we explain why. And the high potential will have a lot of pleasure to do this job because our clients are waiting for us. They are waiting for us not only as an expert, but only as a real partner. We could take risks with them. And that's why, you know, their future will be nice.
Okay. Well, Yannick, thank you so much for your time this morning. All the best for the future, and congratulations again for your successful journey at FITECO in the past and in the future.
Thank you, thank you, very, thank you.